What is up, guys? We are back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about 3-bet pot out of position pre-flop razor concepts. Okay, so we're going to go to a very common spot here. We are in the small blind, and I'm going to give us the best hand in poker, pocket aces. Okay, we're in the small blind. The button raises 2.5x. We have aces. We decide to 3-bet. Big blind folds and button calls. Flop comes 7 of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, 2 of clubs. Okay, so first thing we want to note, not a range bet, not even close, right? You can use 1/3, you can use half, you can use big. But what do we notice about aces here? It does kind of like to check, right? Not very vulnerable. You know, we can check this hand. So let's say we do something unorthodox. We decide to check, okay? Our opponent thinks it's a little fishy that we checked, and he decides to check back, okay? Now, the turn comes a jack of hearts. Now, I'm going to ask you, how often do you think pocket aces is betting the turn once the flop goes check, check, okay? Think of a percentage, okay? How about close to a range check? Now, look at kings. Look at queens. Why are kings and queens overbetting? By the way, the overbet is the preferred sizing after a flop goes check, check, so you can be all in by the river. But let's go back to the kings and queens. Why are kings and queens betting but aces checking? What's going on here? You have to think about what button's range is, okay? What does aces block? Aces blocks ace high, right? So if I have 2 aces, that makes it much less likely that my opponent has ace high, correct? What does ace high like to do? Ace high likes to go to showdown. Ace high doesn't want to bet because ace high has showdown value. But I have 2 aces. That means it's less likely my opponent has showdown value. So what I do is I get tricky and I check. And now he bets his queen 10. He bets his king jack or his king 10. Not king jack, but king 10 and king 9. Okay? See, the kings and the queens make it more likely he has ace high, which is what we're targeting on the turn. See, when we bet big, now ace queen 0 EV. So, ace queen off as well. So what we do is we check our aces because it increases button's bluffing frequency on the turn. But we bet our kings and queens. That's how the blockers work, okay? But let's say we check it, okay? Let's say we have aces and we check it, okay? Now button does something that we don't want. He checks it back. Now, let's say the river comes a deuce of hearts. How often do you think aces are betting? Think of a percentage. Very, very low percentage. Why? Because we block showdown value. We block ace high. We want him to bluff his queen 10. We want him to bluff his king 10. Right? We want him to bluff his 10-9. So we check. We check, and then we have a little surprise for him on the river when he bets. Say he has 10-9. He bets, and then we jam. All right, guys, so the turn is very important here, okay? We are always checking turn effectively with aces, but always betting our kings and queens because of how the blockers work, right? We don't want our opponent to have ace high because ace high has showdown value. So with our aces, we block showdown value, so we check, which increases button's betting frequency, okay? Kings and queens do not do this. So we overbet our kings and queens, but we always check our aces. All right, guys? Please subscribe to the channel. I just started this channel, and I will be making a new video every day at 9 a.m., and I will see you in the next one.